Hey, what's up guys, it is Ace3030, thank you so much for watching, and today it's Valentine's Day and or Thursday, so hopefully you guys had a very awesome Thursday and or Valentine's Day, because both Thursday and Valentine's Day are very awesome days. Today I'm going to bring you guys this awesome 3rd gen borderline battle that I had against one of my friends. I don't know, but his name is Brendan, so we're just going to call him Brendan. So today we're going to start with that question. Today that question is, what is your favorite TM? Now I think there's 94 TMs in Pokemon, and out of all of them, mine would have to probably be TM27, which is Return. Now Return, I just think the whole concept of the move was awesome. The more the Pokemon love you, the more powerful the move is. The whole notion of the move is just pretty awesome, and so many different Pokemon can learn it, and it's really powerful. So please be sure to tell me what your guys' favorite TM is in the comments below. So anyway, if you look at this team, 3rd gen borderline has some awesome Pokemon in it, and you can see that I have Weezing and Umbreon, which make a very, very fantastic core, of like a really awesome defensive core, because all the things that Weezing are weak to is special, and Umbreon is a very special Pokemon, and it's vice versa, because Umbreon is only weak to physical type moves, while Weezing resists them and has a very high defensive stat. Now, everything else there is really just there for support and everything. I have a calm-minding SLOWbro right there, which is a pretty awesome Pokemon, and Sceptile is there for lead seating, which can give some extra support and health to the Pokemon on my team. If you look at the chart right here, you can see that the only thing I'm weak to is basically Dragon. But Dragon is kind of just there. No one actually uses Dragon type moves in 3rd gen. I have a kind of crippling weakness to Fighting and Bug too, but those can be compensated by Weezing. So anyway, if you look at this stat chart right here, you can see that my team is hugely based around defense. I didn't even try to do that originally, but it has a lot of defensive qualities to it, which is pretty awesome in case some physical moves start to be an issue, because physical moves in 3rd gen are no joke. I also have a lot of investment into my HP stats and attack stats, but it's kind of whatever. So basically, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. It was pretty awesome. Be sure to answer that question in the comments below, and please enjoy. Alright, so you guys may or may not be aware of the fact that in Pokemon X and Y there's going to be a new Eevee evolution, and it's most likely going to be a flying type, which is what nobody wanted! Awesome! So anyway, he leads off with his Moltres as I lead off my Rhydon, which is a pretty good matchup for me. Immediately I just go for a Rock Blast because it's stab and I'm Choice Bended, and I know it's going to be doing a lot of damage to whatever switches in because there's no immunity to rocks. So he goes out into his Machamp, which takes this Rock Blast pretty nicely. I don't want to stay in anymore because I know this thingy is going to be doing a lot of damage to me. I see that he has leftovers, which means that this thing isn't choice banded, which means that I could possibly go into my Snorlax later on and tank some of his hits. And that possibly means that he's going to be a bulk up variant of Machamp, which is very powerful, so I must be aware of that later on. So anyway, he switches out into his Alakazam as I go for a Psychic. As I said earlier, there's no point of over predicting. There really isn't no point. It's very early in the game, he could have anything, and if I make a wrong play, it could cost me the game. So I'm just going to go for that Psychic. As I said, I got the special defensive drop, which pretty much sucks for him. I could have taken him out with another Surf because it was Stab, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want my SLOWbro to take that much damage from the Thunder Punch. So I go into my Umbreon, which can take that pretty easily. It is a specially defensive kind of Umbreon. That is what they do. So he goes out to his Machamp as I go for a Baton Pass. Now, that's something you should always do. If you have Baton Pass and you're expecting a switch, or if you're faster and if you want to switch out, you should always just do it. There's no point of you trying to just switch out hard because you don't know if they're going to be able to switch out. It would just suck if you switch out to the wrong Pokemon. So anyway, he predicted my stay in, and he goes for a Hidden Power Ghost as I go for Surf, and it does a lot of damage to this Machamp for it to be a Machamp. And immediately I just go for a Surf again because I knew that he was going to switch out. I'm pretty sure that he didn't want to take a Psychic and get taken out, which is why he went into Alakazam, but I'm not stupid. So his Alakazam actually takes a lot of damage from the Surf. I know I could have killed him earlier on with that special defensive drop, but as I said earlier, I don't want to over predict, and I don't want to die, and I don't want to take a lot of damage. So anyway, he switches out into his Machamp immediately because he predicted my switch into Shadow Star, which is pretty awesome for him because now he's going to be able to go for a Cross Jump or whatever he wants to, and he would know that he can damage anything on my team. So anyway, I go onto my Sceptile. I figured he was just going to go for a bulk up or something, but he goes for a Hidden Power Ghost, which it wasn't an issue at first, but he got a critical hit, which sucks a lot, but it's kind of okay because I get to go into Overgrow range, and Overgrow is one of those awesome abilities which I think gives extra stab to your grass attack moves, which makes them 1.5% stronger. Yes. So anyway, my Leaf Blade is essentially 165 plus power and base power, and he lives with like a little smidgen of health, and it sucks because I wanted to take the thingy out, but he wasn't able to kill me because he missed his cross shot. But even so, I thought I would take that thingy out, and it just sucks so much because come on, why would you not die? Come on. So anyway, he switched out into his stupid little Moltres at this point. I know I'm faster than it. I know that he was going to go for an agility or some kind of other move because the switch was kind of pretty obvious, but I'm not stupid. So I get to go for a lead seat. I get some awesome recovery back. I mean, it's awesome because I have, you know, Substitute, and with Substitute, I need to have a lot of health in order to live. So anyway, I go for a switch out into my Shadow Star, which is my Umbreon. As I said earlier, this thing is specially defensive. I can take any kind of special attack and then be able to wish it off later on if need be. So now that this thing is in here, I'm going to go for a wish, I do believe, at this point, because I need my health back. Like I said, Umbreon is one of those Pokemon that should have a lot of health. I said that in earlier videos, and that is what needs to happen. So I go for a wish as he switches out into his Registeel, and he has some fantastic ass names. Like, what is that? Registeel? Like, how fantastic is that? That is literally the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, come on. So anyway, I baton pass out into my Breaking Boss because I know this thingy with Curse is going to be extremely dangerous. So that's why I switched into it immediately. I gotta go for an Earthquake, which is going to be doing a lot of damage to this Registeel, even though he has +1 defense. Because, I mean, it's Stab and it's Choice Banded. I mean, even if he had like +6, it would still do a lot of damage. So anyway, he goes for an Earthquake, which is pretty awesome because I thought that he might have had a hit better Steel, and it wouldn't have been an issue at first. We got a critical hit, which is fine, I guess, but I mean, come on. So anyway, he switched out into his Phoenix. I knew he was going to do that because I knew that that thing had rest, so that's why I switched out into my Umbreon. Now at this point, I can go for a Toxic, I do believe. I think I go for a Toxic, or I go for a Wish. I think I go for a Wish. Yes, I do go for a Wish. It's pretty awesome for me because I know that I'm able to go out into my Rhydon at this point, but I cannot use Baton Pass because this thingy had Intimidate. So I thought I was just going to stay in here and get to go for a Toxic because I know that I have 110 base defensive stat. As you saw, this thingy is very defensive, but this little thing, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, why would you do that to me? A critical hit, I mean, I have things to do. I have a life. I try my best. I really do try my best, and then you have to go and do that. I mean, you just ruined my day. Good for you. High five. So now, I mean, he has some awesome names. He named his Tauros Gemini. I mean, okay, so anyway, he goes out into his Moltres. Like at this point, I really didn't want to over-predict, so that's why I went for a Double Edge. I wasn't going to take any damage from it anyway because I have the Rock Head ability. I could have went for Rock Blast, which I know can affect everything on his team, but I did not want to take the chance of missing because if I would have missed, it would have been all stucky because then I would have to switch out and it would have just been no. So anyway, now that this thingy is I kind of predicted Hidden Power Grass. It was pretty much obvious, so that's why I went out into my Sceptile. I figured that I had Hidden Power Ice, but I didn't. I had Hidden Power Fire, but fortunately enough for my life, I get a critical hit, and I'm like, oh my god, yes! So now he goes out into his Alakazam. He knows that I have Hidden Power Fire, and he's pretty smart for this because he knows that since I have Hidden Power Fire, I have 30 IVs into my speed stat as he has 31 into his speed stat, and even though we have the same special defense, speed stat, he's going to be faster by 1 stat point. So that was brilliant of him. So he goes out. I go out into my SLOWbro because I was aware of that information. Most people probably would have stayed in there, but you got to be aware of IVs and those sort of things when you're dealing with Pokemon. So I go for a Psychic, which I do believe was a misclick, and it kind of sucks because his Registeel isn't going to take like any damage, and it's just terrible. So now at this point, I see the thing is in here, and I know it's going to be going for a rest. That's pretty much obvious. There's nothing else he could have possibly did, and I know since he does not have any chest liberty or anything, I could set up a couple of Calm Minds. So now that this thingy is asleep, and now that I have some Combines, I'm pretty much set to go. I mean, SLOWbro is one of those Pokemon that just has everything it needs to be, like, it needs in, like, 1 turn. I mean, it has rest in case I get Toxic or something, but with this thing, you have a 110 defensive stat and a high amount of special defense due to Calm Mind. This thing, you can take any move and just be like, bitch, I'm gonna take this move, I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna kill you, because that's what I do. I'm SLOWbro, that's what I do with this Cloyster on my back. It's not even a Cloyster because it doesn't even look like a Cloyster. I don't know what's going on here. So anyway, I go for a Surf on his Alakazam. I take it out with a crit, which didn't matter at all, as he goes out into his Regirock. And now this little bitch goes for Explosion, and I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm just really trying. I said this earlier, like, I'm just trying to have some Pokemon battles. I'm trying to be the very best that no one ever was, but yet you don't want me to do that. So I get taken out, which sucks so much because I have +2 and it's terrible. So now I bring in my Weezing, and as you can see by that Weezing's HP stat, I did some wrong ass crap right there. So I didn't give it max HP, which sucks because that's what all Weezing should have, but that's an old variant of my old Weezing, which had maximum investment into special defense and defense, and it just sucks. So Now, it's going to matter later on. You should always be aware of that. He was going to switch out into his Registeel at this point because I knew that he was, he knew that I was going to go for a Will-O-Wisp. I mean, that was pretty much obvious. So now he's going to go and stay asleep. I went into my Sceptile so I could make this thingy go asleep because I know that this thingy can be an issue if it was awake, and I know. Did I really just say that? No, I went for a Release Seed so I can get some residual damage. So anyway, he goes for an Earthquake and he gets a crit again, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing? I mean, really, I don't know what you're doing. It's okay. So anyway, it just sucks. So now it's pretty awesome because I take out this Registeel, and the last Pokemon that he has is a Tauros, which he named Gemini. Like I said earlier, that is a brilliant name. I'm gaga over that name. So he goes for a return. That's the best thing he can go for. I mean, there's resistances on my team for it, but it's whatever, I suppose. I mean, that's the only thing he can really do. He can hope for crits, but I mean, he can't do much unless he gets crits. So, like I said, because I didn't invest into my HP fully, I get taken out due to that return. Only two on a completely defensive Weezing, which is terrible. So make sure you stab your Pokemon correctly or you EV train them correctly, because if you don't, things like that will happen and you'll just be mad. So anyway, I go into my Miltank, which is a pretty awesome Pokemon. I wanted to showcase this thing because I know that Miltank is usually perceived as being a sucky Pokemon, which drinks its own milk out of its milk producing organs, and it's not all that. I mean, it's pretty awesome, especially with this thing having Curse. I know it's kind of contradicting because it has a 100 base speed stat, but I mean, with Curse, this thingy can sweep. I mean, the only thing I have to attack people is Body Slam, because my moveset is Curse, Heal Bell, Milk Drink, and Body Slam, or Curse, like, yeah. But, I mean, it kind of sucks because I'm not going to be able to do anything to Ghost types, and I'm barely going to do anything to Steel types, but I guess you could replace Heal Bell with Earthquake if you need to, and even if you don't, I mean, this thingy can do a lot of damage. So at this point, I was really like scared of the critical hits. I was pretty sure they were gonna happen because he got so many earlier on because he's a little faggot, and it's okay. So I just go for a Body Slam. He didn't get a crit yet. I was hoping to get a para, but I don't get the para. He could get a crit right now. If he gets a crit right now, my Joshua's gonna die. Miltank and Tauros basically go out. They basically are married. If he kills this thingy, it's all over for him. But no, Gemini does not kill Joshua, and Joshua takes him out with the Body Slam, just as it should be. The female should always be taking out the male because that is what females do. So anyway, pretty awesome. So that was it. I did win. It was a pretty awesome battle. It was a 3-0, and it was a awesome BL battle. Like I said, I don't think I said this earlier on, but I do like that tier. That tier is not a certified Smogon tier that you can do, but I do like the concept. It's very fun because you have some really awesome Pokemon. So be sure to like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, comment if you're cool, subscribe if you haven't, share if you have the balls, and favorite if you are Fortress. Now, you guys have been very, very awesome lately. Like, your liking and your subscribers and everything you guys have been doing has been very consistent. It has been very awesome. I encourage you guys to please keep up with that. It is so very helpful. I don't know if you guys realize that those itty bitty things that you do, those little comments, those little likes, those little whatever it is that you guys do with people's videos, they are so helpful, and things like that allow you to be a very highly looked upon person on YouTube. I mean, if you're a very supportive person, people will begin to notice. Like, some of you I've already talked to because you're very supportive and things like that. So thank you guys for doing that, and please continue to. It is very helpful. So anyway, once again, I hope you guys like this battle. It was pretty awesome. I like Borderline. It's fun. It's what I do. It's 3rd gen. It is what it is. So be sure to stay tuned later because I probably will upload a 5th gen battle soon later on. It was against Quando Ren 66. Ooh, it was pretty cool. But yeah, you guys are going to see that later. So have a wonderful day, guys. Have a wonderful rest of Valentine's Day, which isn't even... It's going to be next year. Yeah, so have an awesome Thursday too and everything. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye.